Welcome to the Canadian Trucking Alliance Border blog. I'm Jennifer Fox. Thank you for joining us. There are many carriers that are already in a position to submit e-manifest to the CBSA, but they have not begun the process, mostly because they're gun-shy as a result of CBP's e-manifest process and some of the hiccups that we experienced and problems with that. There are several of our members that are submitting e-manifest that have decided to get on board early and are doing that. And the process for them, they are almost exclusively submitting e-manifest now. So for those that are doing it and are finding it beneficial, they are taking advantage of it to a full extent. One of the biggest struggles that the carriers are facing right now when submitting e-manifests for their loads coming to Canada is dealing with their shipper community in the United States. E-manifest is going to require information in advance to be submitted from the carrier, and to do that they need the most accurate information possible from the shipper in advanced time frames. The carrier is required to provide that information an hour before they arrive at the Canadian border. Shippers aren't used to that. They're used to just-in-time delivery, a just-in-time environment where they can provide information last minute, throw a skid or a pallet on the truck because there's extra space. That can no longer be the case. So getting that message to the U.S. shippers has been one of the biggest challenges. There's been no official word from the CBSA to this date that there will be a change to the mandatory deadline or the implementation, which is planned for November 1st, 2012. That being said, as far as we know, CBSA is on track and we are encouraging carriers to get on board now. There are less than 4 months for carriers to prepare, and it will be mandatory for all trucks coming to Canada. What carriers can do now to prepare, we encourage them to go to CBSA's website. All the information is there. They'll need to download a copy of a document called the ECCRD. You need to download a copy of that, and that's going to contain all the information that you need. It's also important to start looking at what your options are in terms of, will you use the free web-based portal, which is really more conducive to the smaller volume carriers, or will you go with an EDI or a service provider if you have high volumes of shipments crossing the border. In September of 2012, CTA will be launching the FAST pilot at the Blue Water Bridge in Sarnia. The FAST pilot is, ultimately the goal is to be able to open up access to the fast lane to carriers that are hauling shipments that don't meet the CSA plus PIP requirements. So what we're looking to do ultimately is to align the PIP program with the US's CTPAT program. In order to do that, we need to be flexible with the requirements at the freight level. Currently, freight that accesses the fast lane, you're required to have a FAST approved carrier, a FAST approved driver, and all the freight has to meet both CSA plus PIP requirements. What we'd like to do is be able to remove that CSA plus PIP requirement so that the freight can be either CSA or PIP. That's what takes the PIP program to a closer mutual harmonization with the CTPAT program going into the US. A small group of carriers have been selected. They meet certain requirements and parameters because they cross at the Blue Water Bridge, which has the infrastructure to support the pilot. The carriers have come forward. We have found an RFID provider that is donating the technology where we will be able to count and track both the number of trucks that are using the fast lane today, the number of trucks that will use the fast lane under the pilot, as well as the time that it takes the trucks to cross the bridge today and get through customs, and the time it will take the truck to cross the bridge and get through customs under the pilot. So what we're hoping ultimately we will be able to do is prove to the CBSA that CSA plus PIP requirement at the freight level is actually counterintuitive to the streamlined movement of trucks across the border. For more information, go to our website, www.cantruck.ca, and stay tuned for more border updates. Thanks!